Hello friend, if you are watching this video, then let me be the first to say, congratulations! You've recently bought the Brickbreaker from the Super Doomspire shop, and this is your first time using it.
And I one-shot people now?
No, you've got a lot to learn before you're ready to obliterate people. As you can see from this picture, you're now wielding one of the most dangerous weapons in the game. But that wasn't always the case. In fact, the Brickbreaker used to be among the very worst weapons in the game, right next to the bridge trowel and the slingshot. See, all the Brickbreaker had going for it at the time was extra construction damage, the ability to get bricks from kills you get with it, and the special move Mega Smack, which wasn't even special to the Brickbreaker. The Frying Pan also had Mega Smack, as well as way better upsides and pretty much the exact same downsides as the Brickbreaker. The Brickbreaker at its best was basically just a crappy side grade to the Frying Pan that had a 5% faster swing speed. But one day, that all changed drastically. When the summer update of 2021 released on August 20th, the Brickbreaker got a massive rework. It finally got its own special move, the Brick Smash, which normally would be an even crappier Mega Smack that has input lag and doesn't even ragdoll. But if you get 50 or more bricks with it and then use it, a huge explosion gets added onto the Mega Smack, which deals upwards of 90 damage on a direct hit. But this is added on top of the base 25 damage of the move, which means you can one-shot people at full health with a direct hit from this thing. Sounds like a lot of
H.
It sounds like a lot of
H.
Sounds like a
H. H.
Sounds like a lot of H to make over a sword unlock, right? Wrong! The Brickbreaker today. The Brickbreaker's place in Super Doomspire is very, very unique. It's a sword that really focuses on the special move rather than its other qualities. This of course is not unique to the Brickbreaker by any means. Some good examples include the Home Runner and the Shadow Blade, but they don't focus on their special moves quite like the Brickbreaker does. The Brickbreaker is very all or nothing, far more than any other weapon in the game is. On one hand, you can fly into a bunch of people and send them all into the void, and on the other, you can accidentally kill yourself, and by extension, accidentally lose the entire game during a sudden death. The reason you live and die by this thing is because, well, you kinda have to. More often than not, your playstyle while using this thing is gonna revolve almost entirely around the Brick Smash, and if it isn't, then you'd be better off using any other sword. Stashing away your Brickbreaker for strictly last resort scenarios might come in clutch every now and then, but it doesn't quite make up for the fact that you're losing out on a huge part of your damage and mobility that you would get back by using pretty much any other sword. So, it's obvious. This thing pretty much forces you to be as proactive as you can with using it. Most of your games with this thing are going to be filled with just thinking about the Brickbreaker and Brick Smashes, and a lot of the time you end up not focusing all that much on the other 4 tools in your loadout. Let's see if you have what it takes to adopt this thinking process. Poise, confident, and a smile that says, "Hello world, I have no idea what I'm doing." You've got the makings of a great Brickbreaker main. Brick collection. Before we're ready to go ahead with our Brick Smashes, we have to understand just how we should collect the bricks we need before we can go ahead and one-shot people. You can remember some great ways to go around brick collection by just understanding the phrase chump. Watch closely. Concentrate on bricks, have the right tools, use the Brickbreaker, make your tools work at range, and pick out the right parts. Let's go over what chump really means, one letter at a time. For C, this means you want to focus on brick collection for a lot of the game. This might sound obvious, but you'd be surprised by the thought processes of some players that use this thing. For H, this means that you should pick out some good rocket launchers and bombs that will help you get bricks, such as the throwable bombs and the rocket launchers with high blast radius. For U, this doesn't mean what it sounds like. You can use 20 bricks dropped on kill as a legitimate source of bricks by slapping those on already low health, or spawn camping those that are completely oblivious to the world around them. For M, this just means that staying far away from the Doomspires and instead of the center of the map or wherever the map's floor is, and destroying the Doomspires from afar instead is a really nice way to stay in the action while also collecting plenty of bricks at the same time. And finally for P, this just means that to get the most out of every bomb you throw or rocket you shoot, make sure you're placing them them at the most brick-dense parts of the doomspires. Alright, now that you understand the phrase chump, I bet you think you're ready to one-shot people. Whoa, not so fast. We haven't even talked about loadouts. Every Brickbreaker main must know the importance of a good loadout. Well then, are you ready to begin your gaming session? Alright, let's go over some good picks for your tools. For both rocket launchers and bombs, these are mostly going to be reserved for brick collection and maybe explosive jumps, and not really anything to do with combat. That being said, you should focus on rocket launchers with big explosive radiuses, like the Bombardier and Shadow Dragon for their powerful brick farming capabilities, as well as being able to work at ranges, unlike the Crystal Blaster, which would be a good pick if it wasn't for what we learned with Chump. And for your bombs, there's two pretty good options you can go with here. Either the sticky bomb or the remote detonator. And this is for the same reason. Range. Although the sticky bomb obviously does better than the remote detonator in this regard, the remote detonator is still throwable at the very least. Though this certainly doesn't mean that the other bombs don't have a use at all. The stock and square bombs have fantastic bomb jumps, and the shadow bomb is funny as hell against unaware players. For your super ball slot, this is really your choice. Do you want some stupidly powerful knockback? Do you want some long range damage? Do you want some extra mobility? Or are you a lunatic and want to use the slingshot for whatever reason? The choice is yours, my friend. But seriously, please don't use the slingshot. Ever. And the last thing we need to cover is travels. And again, you have a lot of freedom with your pick here. Although you should try to avoid the more expensive travels like Shadow Clone and Ball Turret, as they eat up way too many of your bricks to be worthwhile. But of course, you could pick the trampoline trowel for an easy height advantage, cage trowel for control over a fight, spike trowel for a bit of damage, or again, if you're a lunatic, you can use the bridge trowel if you want. Alright, now that you've got your loadout constructed, you're ready to begin your gaming session. And I'll bet you think you're ready to one-shot people. Whoa, calm down, we still have a few more things to talk about. When to use a brick smash. Having an instant delete button ready to go in the form of the Brickbreaker is undoubtedly really powerful. But unlike other instant delete buttons like the Home Runner or the Crystal Blaster, brick smashes are very limited and punish you harshly for misusing it. If you've only got room for one brick smash, be very cautious about using it, because once you use it, it's gone. You're basically left without your main source of damage until you get enough bricks to get another brick smash ready. If you got 100 or so bricks, or otherwise have 2 brick smashes ready, you should still be a bit cautious about using them, but for the most part, you can use your first of the 2 for whatever you like. But once you only have 1 left, make sure you aren't wasting it. However, if you have a load of bricks or otherwise plenty of room for a few to several brick smashes, you can be pretty laid back with how you spend them. But of course, when your bricks start to drop, you should always be ready to start going back to conserving them. Now that you've learned to conserve your brick smashes when necessary, I'll bet you think you're ready to one-shot people. Whoa there, calm down, we still have plenty of time. We've got to make sure you know what you're doing before you head out into the real world. Consulting experts for advice. It's important to consult some fellow gamers for advice on the Brickbreaker before you embark on your journey. I've set you up with a Reddit account here. Go ahead and ask the people of the internet about the Brickbreaker. Fantastic job! Performing your brick smash. And now we move from theory crafting to the front lines, where we observe some helpful do's and don'ts of actually going ahead and pressing the letter R on our keyboard. You're almost never going to want to start your brick smash on the ground, unless in very specific cases like for brick smash batter flights. Coming down from out of nowhere and having your brick smash instantly go off is far better than just sitting there like an idiot and waiting a full second for the brick smash to activate. You should aim to start your brick smash when you're physically above your target, and ideally at the apex of a jump. Be that simply sword jumping above them and then starting it, or bomb jumping way above them and crashing down for a surprise attack. Although you should be careful about starting a brick smash when you're super high above your target, because it could be very difficult to actually land the brick smash on your target if you're falling at 100 miles per hour. You might want to do a couple sword jumps on the way down until you feel that you're at a comfortable enough height to start a surprise attack. And you should remember, it doesn't even have to be a one shot to kill them. The knockback and 50 damage minimum is more than enough to ensure their death, or at least damn close to it. While you should ideally aim for a direct hit, the reality is, nobody's perfect. But as long as the explosion goes off within at least 7 studs of the enemy gamer, their video gaming experience is going to be heavily altered, all thanks to you. Alright, now that we've covered all the parts of your training and you've learned everything you need to know, it's time for the moment you've been waiting for! It's time to one-shot people! Alright, champ, you've got a good vantage point on some people here. Remember your training and go ahead. Live your dreams, achieve your life goals, make me proud!